Hey guys, happy Friday. Welcome to another episode of Day in the Life of Vintage Classic Specialist. Hope everyone had a good Halloween yesterday. I know I did. We put on Poltergeist and probably had, I don't know, maybe 8 or 12 groups of trick-or-treaters come by. We didn't have a real busy neighborhood for that, but I ate too much candy and I don't regret it. So there you go. Anyway, here we are Friday. And had the shop all to myself today. It was Friday, so Rafa's out. He's out Thursdays and Fridays. Jacob took the day off, so yeah, I had the place to myself. Had some music blasting in here and getting some things done on this beautiful 68 double cab. So let's see what I did on this puppy here today. So one thing that I did was I don't know why it took me so long to get around to this, but I finally did the rear hardlines on the brakes. So it goes from there into the wheel cylinder. So let's take a look at those. So yeah, they're a little tricky. It's a very, this line is very three-dimensional, just the curves and stuff that it makes. As you can see, it comes out of the wheel cylinder here, makes a curve, and then it kind of goes down, and then there's a hole here in the this housing that it goes through, and then it curves again, and then there's a little grommet that holds it, and then finally it goes over to the soft line. So yeah, it's a very three-dimensional line. So those of you that follow me, you know how I do this. I take a piece of bendable wire the same length as the hard line and start putting curves in it and test fit it, and then get that together as a template, and it works bitchin', and lines come out nice and smooth. Pretty much get them in the first shot as far as, you know, having them fit right. And anyway, so yeah, I finally got around to that. I don't know why I waited so long to do those, but did that. And then on the topic of brakes for this one, I also went ahead and put together the ebrake assembly here. So I still have to put the boot on the bottom here, and the cables aren't hooked up, but these things have a little bit more complicated e-brake setup than an earlier bus, than a split window bus. So instead of just pulling on the handle, you actually pull on I guess this is a handle, but it's not the usual handle. On earlier buses, you just pull on this big handle here. On this one, it's got this kind of hinged ratchety thing here that comes out, and so you pull on that to set the e-brake. And then the cool thing is that to release it, you give this thing a little turn, and if the brake cables were hooked up and adding some spring to it, it would go back like this, and then you let go and this thing snaps back. So kind of cool how that works. And unfortunately, he didn't have the return spring here. At least I didn't see it in all his parts. So quick trip to the hardware store, bought a few springs because I wasn't sure exactly which one would work the best, and then modified one end of this one to pick up this hole here. And yeah, it seems to work perfect. Nice and springy, returns with a nice little snap here. So yeah, got that all in, and there's some little bushings that go in here, one here that this thing rides in, and then a little bumper here so this thing doesn't thud too hard when it goes in all the way. So yeah, got that all set up. That was kind of fun to put together. Kind of a neat little mechanism. So other than that, all the cylinder tin with an asterisk, I'll come back to that in a second. Almost all the cylinder tin came back from powder coating today, so I decided to go ahead and put this motor together for real. Before, the exhaust was on it, but it was just kind of bolted on loosely for mock-up purposes, and then it was pretty much just a long block. So now it's going together for real. So the exhaust is bolted up for good now with gaskets and all that good stuff on it. And then I started putting the tin on. So this pulley tin is on, obviously. Cylinder tins are on, but these aren't quite bolted on. Just kind of the last thing I did at the end of the day. Manifolds are just sitting here, so I don't have to put them somewhere else. But no gaskets yet, or hardware, obviously. But yeah, so the reason that I didn't get all of the cylinder tin back was that the powder coating guys somehow put a huge dent in the fan shroud. So they felt bad, and they're going to take care of it. But somehow there was an enormous dent about right here where it looked like something round, maybe about the size of my finger, just like smacked the F out of it right here on this corner and put maybe almost a 1/4 inch or so deep, kind of, again, round shaped dent right there on the corner. And luckily I saw it before I came back, took it and came back to the shop, and I showed it to them and said, hey guys, this was a brand new fan shroud, and I know that it wasn't like that when I brought it to them. So, they apologized profusely. They have a metalworking guy that they send stuff to like that gets damaged inadvertently or otherwise. And, I don't think it's something that happens too often over there, but they're going to take care of it, and then they'll repowder coat it. No charge, of course, their mistake, and they're stand-up guys over at Americoat. So I have no doubt it'll look just as good as new when they're done with it. But so the fan shroud won't be able to go on until I get that back, but hopefully they'll get it back to me quick. But anyway, other than that, this thing's coming together. So a few more things I can bolt onto it here, and then the transmission, we're having Leo that I work with a lot. He's the guy that did the EV setup and air conditioning on this car. He is actually doing some detailing work on the transmission for this car. We wanted to, the transmission was just painted black, and we had him go and kind of like clean up and polish the ribs on the transmission and stuff, and do some other detail work to make it look bitchin' like the rest of this car. And I think he's probably going to be done with that pretty soon. And so then the engine and transmission should be ready to go in this thing pretty soon here. So that's pretty exciting. My buddy Todd, who is also a Porsche genius and a machinist, Todd is going to I'm going to finally have him machine the big nuts for these axles. They were interfering with the wheels. I probably mentioned this before, but they were hitting kind of the inside of the wheels. And so took a crap ton of measurements, and then Todd is going to machine those down so that they will actually clear the insides of the wheels. I would have just spaced the wheels out, but there wasn't really room because the wheels and tires are quite wide, and they're already going to be kind of a close fit up in there. So the solution was to go ahead and mount the wheels flush to the drums, and then machine the axle nuts so that the wheel will kind of fit over those without any interference. So those are going to get done. And so once those are done, then the drums can go on this thing, and the brakes will be totally done then. Wheels can go on. Front wheels can pretty much go on. So I can actually turn this thing into a roller here before too long, I guess. So what else? That's pretty much what I worked on today, was this thing here, trying to keep this bad boy moving forward here. The motor, for those of you that might be new to the channel, this is a 2110cc, built as, like bus motor, so erring on the side of being torquey more than just a flat out screamer horsepower wise. So should have a nice flat torquey curve. I think we put an Engel, I think it was an Engel 120 in this one. I'd have to look back through my notes, but kind of a pretty mild performance cam, mild heads, unported big valve heads. So again, the emphasis here being on torque, because these things weigh a lot compared to a Bug. If we were building this motor for a Bug, it would be totally different as far as the combo is concerned. But this thing's going to run amazing. And it's going to have heat. So these are high flow heater boxes. I got these from Jason at Air Cooled Vintage Works. So they have 1 5/8 tube inside of them, but you get to retain your heat, which is neat. And then this car is also going to have air conditioning. The motor is going to be fuel injected. This thing is going to have all the bells and whistles here and be a super awesome driver for this guy. So anyway, I believe that is it for this week, guys. Hope everyone has a good weekend, and we will see you guys again on Monday. Thanks for watching. Bye.